Welcome to another edition of The Greater Work, the audio outreach of Christ Worker Ministries. Listen in as experienced employee and minister, Sean Gibson brings biblical insights to help you worship God both in and with your labor. Now, let's get to work.
I recently talked with an individual who was struggling with their career and a situation going on in their workplace. As I sat there and listened, I heard statements like, "I don't understand how they can do this to me," or "Why would they do this to their employees?" I even heard this person say, "How can they survive as a company by doing this to me?" As the conversation continued, that person made a declaration. They said, "I'm not going to take this treatment anymore. I'm going to find another job, and I'm going to let HR know how bad these people are and what they need to do to change it." After this encounter, I looked back on my career and I laughed because I had sounded just like this on many occasions. And you know something? I was full of it. Maybe you've been there too. Like my coworker, I validated my righteous decision to leave a company because the leadership of my department did not meet my expectations. As a result, I was hurt and disappointed. I even over-spiritualized the situation and determined in my heart that my boss was the devil. In making matters worse, my self-righteous attitude spewed statements like, "You don't mess with God's kids because he's going to get you." Down in my heart, I honestly thought I was Moses Jr. I believed that when I departed from the company, others would follow behind me. Take it from me, I was wrong. While there are times that a person genuinely should leave a company because of negative people and experiences, if we're honest, those situations are few and far in between. The real issue behind our unhappiness in the workplace is simple. Our expectations are off. We expect from our employers to always be nice to us, listen to our needs, help us in developing our skills and gifts, reward us for a job well done, and discipline those around us that are nasty to us. Unfortunately, those expectations are more fitting for a preschool class than they are for the workplace. I think it's time that we re-examine our expectations in light of the one that we call Savior, Jesus the Christ. When we look at Christ and his job description, we find three main objectives. Number one, make the Father known. Number two, save sinners. And number three, destroy the works of Satan. Now stop and think about the challenges in the workplace, jerks, frankly, that Jesus had to face when he came to earth. It kind of puts things in perspective. And don't forget, he was God's only begotten, and he had to face that kind of stuff. Now consider the fact that he did not leave his job because of these factors. As a matter of fact, he died on the job saying that it is finished. Jesus did have to face difficult people, and as a matter of fact, he did have to face Satan on the job. Jesus' co-workers were not always easy to work with. Jesus' work experience and qualifications were questioned several times. Jesus faced betrayal and false accusations, again, all while on his job. That sounds pretty toxic, doesn't it? Time and time again, Jesus endured the harsh realities of his calling and his assignment. From one co-worker to another, Jesus speaks to us today in Matthew 10:16. "I am sending you out like sheep among wolves, therefore be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves." Jesus set the expectations for us in life and in our workplace. You will have difficult co-workers. You will have times in your workplace where it is toxic. However, instead of leaving those people and places, Jesus encourages us to become wise and remain innocent at the same time. In this new series that I call Among Wolves in the Workplace, I want us to look at those devilish tactics that we see in the workplace and explore how we can glorify God in our reaction and still love those that despitefully use and curse us. From bogus yearly reviews, corporate restructurings, and even unfair compensation plans, I will equip you with the workplace wisdom to keep you from going insane and keep your witness for Christ intact. Join me next week on the Greater Work podcast as I continue to share practical steps that you can take to live victoriously among wolves in the workplace. Also visit christworker.org for additional tools and teachings on how you can experience the presence of God in your work life.
Thanks for listening to The Greater Work, a Christ Worker Ministries podcast. The Greater Work is supported by hardworking listeners just like you. To learn more about Christ Worker Ministries and how you can become part of our growing outreach, visit christworker.org.